All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is your host, DJ with Just Dimes ENT, here to bring you guys another story. As you guys know, we advocate for children first here at the DJJustJayOK. A lot of what we end up talking about here are injustices that happen to children from adults, from parents, from just people that are much bigger than these children because these children cannot defend themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to be the voice for them. We're going to speak very harshly about some of these stories, and some of these things are going to hurt some people's sensibilities. So if you guys are sensitive and cannot digest that kind of content, there's a red X in the top right corner. Leave the video, exit the video. Guess what? There's no need to flaggy my channel. There's no need to flaggy my videos. If you don't like it, just exit my video, okay? For everybody else, I'm going to give you guys the raw and graphic details, and then I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents, all right? Let me say hi to, let me see, Unique Laura, hi. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to miss you there. So hi, Unique Laura. I don't know how many thumbs up we have, but I'm going to go ahead and start because I'm just kind of tired of telling people to hit the thumbs up. So hit that thumbs up. Come on, people. Hit the damn thumbs up. Let's go. Now, there was a woman from Alton that was charged Friday with murdering her infant son and then burying him in the woods and concealed his death for nearly an entire month. I'll say that again. She was charged with murdering her son. Thank you, Randy O. I appreciate that. She was charged with murdering her son, and then she tried to conceal the murder by burying him in the woods. Big Glenn Cokefield, happy birthday, happy birthday. Thank you very much. You could have been anywhere on YouTube, and I thank you guys so much for showing love to this particular channel. So thank you for being here. I appreciate that, okay? Now, the woman's name, which you'll see her on the screen here momentarily, her name is Jamia Ellis, Jamia, middle name, which is her right. And yes, guys, this is a woman, by the way. Just if you guys were not aware, that is a female woman of black descent. Yes, that is a female by the name of Jamia Ellis, age 22. Why she looks like she's about 50, but she's 22. And she faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of concealment of a homicidal death in Greene County. I'm going to tell you guys this. Usually they don't charge you with first-degree murder unless they are very, very confident that they're going to get a conviction on first-degree murder. What's up, Chorus 15? They usually do not go for first degree unless they know, like, we're pretty confident that this person was the one that committed the murder. They're 100% responsible, and we have all of our evidence in line to point towards this person. So we're going to get to the other guy over there here in just a moment, okay? His name is Ryan L. Wheeler, age 34, of Carrollton, Illinois, and was also charged Friday with concealing a homicidal death. Wheeler is jailed in lieu of $750,000 because they are guilty. At this point, they are charged and indicted with the murder of Jabari Ellis, who was a 6-month-old son of Jamia Ellis. This person right here, I know she don't look like a female, but she is a female, okay? Just because she has the parts down there. She's got all the proper plumbing to qualify herself as a female. Now, prosecutors say Ellis and Wheeler wrapped the boy's body in a sheet and put it in a trash bag, burying the bag. The charge carries a possible sentence of 20 to 60 years. I don't really know why there would be such a big discrepancy in there, as far as that's like a 40-year gap between 20 and 60 years. But I'm assuming maybe that's for a reason, maybe for the level of egregiousness. I don't know, but let's keep going. So Ryan Wheeler, again, age 34, of Carrollton, he was Ellis's boyfriend and lived in the house in a rural Carrollton adjacent to where the boy's body was found and was charged with concealment of a homicidal death. Now, conviction is punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison. And again, he has a bail set at $750,000. An autopsy of the infant by Greene County Coroner's Office determined that the cause of death was multiple blunt force traumas to this baby. Thank you, Linda. Linda said, why do we hurt babies? Just give them away. Why so much hate? That's my point. And I'll tell you this, Linda, if you've never been to my channel before, actually, Lady Realness says, I bet they were on drugs and going to claim a mental illness. What's funny about this is we talk about hashtag we're the fathers. Well, this person's father right here, Jamia, we heard from her father, but we're gun jumping. We're jumping ahead. I'll get to that. So let's take our pens. Let's bookmark. We'll come back to that part of the story here in just a moment, okay? Now, let's talk about what Linda said. Why do we hurt babies and just don't give them away? One of the things that we talk about here on the Subtle You Dig is the fact that these type of women generally will have these babies. They do not care about them. It seems that these women only have these babies for the benefits that they can collect from them. We have a hashtag called Babies for Benefits. Hashtag Babies for Benefits. What's up, Sexy Star and everybody else? I'm not trying to ignore you guys, but once I get started with the story, like I generally will just keep going with it. But I do see y'all in there, and I definitely appreciate everybody that's here. So if you guys are here, hit that thumbs up for us. We are live right now. Hit that thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we are live. So here we go. Speaking about babies for benefits. Generally, when women have babies, there are things that they can gain from the government as far as assistance that men generally will not get at all, even if they have custody. But women usually will not only be eligible for these benefits when they have any type of children, no matter what most of their situations are, but they will generally be able to get Section 8 housing. They will generally be able to get food stamps. They generally will be able to get health care. They will be able to get a lot of the things that most of us Americans usually have to pay for out of our own pocket. And they get this just because it's a biological function. At this point, it doesn't seem like these women act like women. It seems like they act more like animals. That's my personal opinion. Why? Because they don't treat birth as something special. They don't treat something like birth as God-given. They don't treat something as giving birth to another human being as something that is precious and something that should be cherished. They treat this as something as, well, I know I can get this, and this for this baby if I had his baby. The reason why I say that is because of the actions that most of these mothers end up doing to their children. How they raise them, how they treat them, how they care for them, how much attention they care for them, how they plan for their future. They literally treat them as property. And generally with property, you're going to use that property to your own personal advantage for the benefits that you can get for it. They treat these children as property, not as human beings, living, breathing, beings that need to be nourished and all of this stuff. That's how they treat them. We have dozens of stories to prove my point. And I'm going to continue to keep putting out these stories until people finally say, you know what? Okay, Jay, we get it. Because I constantly have people in my comment sections after these videos are over, and they're constantly trying to tell me, you know what? Well, maybe it's because of this. Maybe it's because of mental illness. Maybe it's because of, the government made them, like this. Maybe it's their environment or anything like this. At the end of the day, if women want to claim that it's their body, it's their choice, then it is also their responsibility, regardless of whether the father is there or not. It is their body, their choice. Therefore, attach the responsibility to the person that has 100% autonomy as far as choice over whether that baby is to come into this world or whether they decide to terminate the pregnancy. That is 100% their choice. They're not forced to do so in any shape, form, or fashion. Okay? So we put the sole responsibility on the person that's in charge. If that person does not want to be in charge, then give that responsibility over to someone else. Now let's talk about the father in this story. We don't hear anything about this father, and I'm going to continue to tell you guys about the rest of this story. There is no father in this story. The only father that you hear from is Jamia Ellis, the woman who killed her son, her or him, whatever you want to call it, he, she. Jamia Ellis, you hear from her dad. And what her dad tries to do is he tries to claim that she suffered from postpartum depression. I was thinking about this earlier, guys, because I've been researching this story for about 4 hours and I wasn't able to get a whole lot, but this is everything that I have here is everything that I was able to find, including the news stories. But I'll say this, because I don't know if you guys have ever thought about this. If women suffer from something like postpartum depression, and you guys, women, let me know if I'm wrong, ladies. Y'all have to know let me know when I'm wrong, because I do not want to offend you guys. But I'm telling you guys what I believe to be a fact. An undeniable fact. If women suffer from something that they cannot control, like postpartum depression, then in my opinion, when those women suffer from things like that, I think that men should absolutely have a much easier time in court to be able to get custody of that child, especially if that woman is going after his finances, meaning child support. Because obviously, if that woman is asking for a significant level of child support, then that means that the man already has that money to be able to support the child. More times than none, if that man has custody of that child, he's not going to turn around and ask for child support from that mother. I have rarely ever heard of a case where a woman has had to pay child support to the DNA father of that kid. What is my point? My point is if we know that postpartum is something that is a danger to the children, if left unchecked with a mother that is without the father of that kid in their life, they don't have any checks and balances there, then that means that that mother poses a large risk to that child. That's probably going to get me flagged. I will say it again. If women are diagnosed with something like postpartum depression, mental illness, or anything that would cause a danger to the child, and men are not held to this standard, men are not given these excuses, so apparently men don't suffer from the same thing that women do, then why shouldn't the men be able to get custody of these children a lot easier? Especially if the woman is diagnosed with an issue like this. It seems like it would be the safer thing to do to give the child over to the parent that doesn't suffer from postpartum depression. Am I right or am I wrong? I want you guys, we got almost 200 people watching the show. When you come in, hit the thumbs up. I know you guys are about 30 seconds behind me. I want you guys to answer that question for me. Postpartum depression is a clinical diagnosis. So I'm going to read you guys the definition of postpartum depression. Depression that occurs after childbirth. Those who develop postpartum depression are at greater risk of developing major depression later on in life. Symptoms might include insomnia, loss of appetite, intense irritability, and difficulty bonding with the baby, meaning they might fuck that kid up. Untreated, the condition may last months or longer. Treatment can include counseling, antidepressants, or hormone therapy. Hormone therapy, pills, counseling. Have you ever heard of a man suffering from postpartum depression? No, you have not. So in my opinion, if we know that these children are at risk and in danger, then it seems like it would make sense that we will allow the fathers to have a lot more leeway when it comes to these parental court proceedings and possibly able to get these children out of the mother's hands. That way that maybe at least because they say this should only last for months, right? So if it only lasts for months, maybe men should be allowed to take care of the children at least for the first year of the kid's life. So that way The mother can deal with her depression and she ain't going to take it out on the kid. How many people can agree to that? We got a few people that agree. Lisa B said postpartum depression is real and horrible. Right. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Let's keep going. Now, again, the autopsy determined that this mother caused the death of her infant by multiple blunt force traumas, meaning she beat the hell out of this kid until she killed him, a 6-month-old baby. The boy died, was 6 months old. He's identified in court papers by the initials J.A.E. He died of blunt force trauma and was found Wednesday in a shallow grave in the woods of East Carrollton. Illinois State Police apparently told a number of news outlets that Ellis knowingly, without legal justification, caused the blunt force trauma to the infant, knowing it could cause his death. That's pretty deep right there. So it was intentional. She intended to kill him. The boy and his mother were reported missing. This is the interesting part. The boy and his mother, that person right there is a mother. I swear to God. That's the mother, Jamia Ellis. Her and her son were reported missing on November 24th to Alton police. Investigators found the woman alive in the 100 block of East Cemetery Road in Carrollton. Police say that the house belongs to what they call an acquaintance. This guy, which we find out is her boyfriend. And again, his name is Ryan Wheeler. So she was found at Ryan Wheeler's house is to an acquaintance, and the house belongs to an acquaintance that the mother stays with from time to time, which she was staying at Ryan's house. They searched in the nearby woods and found the body of her infant son. Now, according to police, Ellis knowingly, without legal justification, caused blunt force trauma to the infant, knowing that it caused his death. Now, Ellis then allegedly concealed the death by placing the boy in a sheet and then into a trash bag and buried the boy within a wooded area in Carrollton, Illinois. In addition, Ryan L. Wheeler, age 34, which is the guy on that far right side, was charged with 1 count of concealment of homicidal death in relation to this case. So police say he had knowledge that the infant died of homicidal means, and then he helped conceal the death by burying the boy. Now, Master Sergeant Michael H. Lewis of Illinois State Police said the baby died on November the 2nd. They kept this hidden for that long, Lewis said of the defendants. Lewis said relatives had helped break the case. James Ellis, who was her father, said this: his daughter suffers from postpartum depression and it got the best of her. I'm going to tell you guys this. I really don't like the fact that the father said that, because he's trying to bail her out with an excuse. I'm sorry. There is no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that at all. So James Ellis, if you happen to see this video, I'm telling you that your daughter doesn't suffer from depression. Your daughter suffers from excuses. Your daughter suffers from not having or not giving a damn about who she procreates with and didn't have that kid's father in his life. As I've told you guys before, these type of people, the boyfriends, these children don't need boyfriends in the house. They do not need mentors in the house. They don't need some dude that mama's sleeping with in the house. They need their fathers in the house. Because more times than none, the fathers and the mothers who are DNA birth father and DNA birth mother are not going to do this type of thing to the kid. Hashtag not all the time. Hashtag not all. For the dumb people. But for everybody else that understands where I'm coming from, more times than none, this is not going to happen. Which is why I also believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe that if she would have gotten married or waited to get married to the right person or to the dude that she wanted to have a baby by, then they have a house and home together, the likelihood of this happening drastically lowers. The fact that she was probably with this kid by herself would have drastically been lowered if the father would have been there. So no, this man is not the father. To answer your question in the chat, that guy is not the baby's father at all. That's the boyfriend. That's just some dude that she been sleeping with for a long time. We'll come back to that another time. Again, Jamia Ellis, her father said that his daughter suffers from postpartum depression and said it got the best of her. That's an excuse. I don't like that. That's a stupid thing to say. Let's keep going. Relatives were concerned they hadn't seen her or the baby in a while, Lewis said. They went to the Alton police and filed a missing persons report. At her initial court appearance on Friday, Ellis asked to be represented by a public defender because, of course, they ain't got no money and the family didn't decide to put money up on a lawyer, on a private attorney. So they got a public defender. A preliminary hearing in her case is scheduled for 11 a.m. on December the 21st. So we got a little ways from now on the 16th. 16 days from now. I don't know why I said the 16th. But 16 days from now, maybe we'll be able to get some more information about this case because there's not a lot of it out there right now. The Greene County State Attorney, Caleb Briscoe, commended the Alton Police, the Greene County Sheriff's Office, and the Illinois State Police for solving this case. Briscoe said in a news release on Friday, he said, "It's awful when any child dies, but when an infant suffers at the hands of those who are meant to be caring for them, it is truly heartbreaking." I'm going to read that part again because that's something that I tell you guys here all the time on our channel. He said, when an infant suffers at the hands of those who are meant to be caring for them, meaning the state is not supposed to be caring for them, meaning the police are not supposed to be caring for them, meaning the government is not supposed to be caring for them, meaning the president is not responsible for caring for these children. The ones who bring them into this world are the ones who are responsible at the end of the day. All of those other things are just fail-safes. They're just backups for backups. CPS, DPS, all of that stuff are just backups for backups. If the father of her knew that she had postpartum depression, then maybe him or his side of the family could have stepped in. Again, not his responsibility. But as a backup, maybe they could have stepped in and took possession of that baby for a while until she got her mental state together. Again, he goes on to say, so he commends the work of the Illinois State Police, Greene County Sheriff Department, and the Alton Police Department for committing themselves to seeking justice for children who cannot call or seek help, who are most vulnerable, and who no longer have a voice. Who does that sound like? Who does that sound like? I'm going to read that again. He said he commends them for committing themselves to seeking justice for children who cannot call or seek help, who are the most vulnerable, and who no longer have a voice. Who does that sound like? I've always told you guys that we are the ones that need to step up and speak up for these children, which is why we advocate for children first. Here is because we speak harshly about parents and those who do damage, harm physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and murder children. Because we're going to speak harshly about those people and not give a damn about people's feelings, because those children cannot defend themselves. They cannot choose where they live. They cannot financially support themselves. They can't nourish themselves. They cannot do anything without someone else's help. They damn sure can't defend themselves if the parents are physically abusing them. Right? Let's go ahead and give you guys the fair usage, and let's go ahead and start off with the first news video, okay? Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Just into our newsroom this afternoon, an Alton, Illinois mother is behind bars accused of killing her own child. Police say Jamia Ellis killed her 6-month-old son and buried him in a shallow grave in Greene County, Illinois. Today, she was charged with murder. It was on Wednesday, though, that the infant's body was found in some woods along East Cemetery Road on the outskirts of Carrollton. That's about an hour's drive north of St. Louis. Police say that her friend Ryan Wheeler helped Ellis dispose of the baby's body. Both are being held on bond at the Greene County Sheriff's Department. We will have much more on this disturbing case tonight on.
Good afternoon to you. We are just outside of Illinois State Police headquarters here in Collinsville. Authorities here have been investigating the case along with officials in Greene County. At this hour, the mother and her boyfriend are both behind bars, but the
Chevelle caught that. Cemetery Road. I caught that too. I thought that was a little bit weird how that was the same road where they found this baby dead at. I just thought that was a bit ironic.
Authorities here have been investigating the case along with officials in Greene County. At this hour, the mother and her boyfriend are both behind bars, but the mother's family is telling me she is not in her right mind.
With the knowledge that Jabari is with God and he is comfortable, he is laughing, and he is playing, and he is just fine where he is right now.
The word.
Look at that face, y'all. Look at that baby's face. Guys, if y'all listening, please hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up if you're watching the video. Look at that baby's face. Now y'all tell me, 6 months old, can't walk, can't talk. Can't use the bathroom on his own. Can't do it. Can't feed himself. Jabari Ellis, 6 months old. What could this baby have done that was so bad that a grown-ass mother, Jamia Ellis, and another grown-ass man, Ryan Wheeler, two grown-ass people felt the need to not only kill this kid, but bury this kid. Look at that face. What do y'all think he could have became? He could have become anything. We'll never know. He has a beautiful smile. Healthy looking little boy. Bright eyes. Could have been anything. Just no excuse. I don't give a damn about no postpartum depression. There's no excuse for this. Let's keep going.
And he is comfortable, he is laughing, and he is playing, and he is just fine where he is right now.
The words of Jabari Ellis's grandfather. He did not want to appear on camera or give us his name, but he was willing to let us use his words. Jabari was the 6-month-old baby boy whose body was found Wednesday in a shallow grave behind a home in rural Greene County near Carrollton. The man can't believe his daughter, 22-year-old Jamia Ellis, is now charged with first-degree murder.
And I've already told you guys her father's name, which is James Ellis. He didn't want his name given out. Well, screw him for giving his daughter an excuse. Postpartum depression. Kiss my ass. That's a stupid-ass excuse. If you can't mentally, spiritually, emotionally handle a baby, shouldn't have the baby. That 6-month-old baby didn't deserve what he got.
For allegedly killing her own son, little Jabari.
I'm still probably a little numb. You know, I've had my anger moments and my sadness, and You know, my feelings hurt. Just a little bit of everything.
Investigators say Ellis killed Jabari with blunt force trauma back on November 2nd inside this home on East Cemetery Road in Greene County. Then police say Ellis and 34-year-old Ryan Wheeler tried to conceal the death by burying Jabari in the shallow grave.
Kitten Paws PB said so many options to just give the baby away. That's my point. Exactly. These women have so many options to not have to do this, That means she made a conscious decision to say, screw this little boy's life. She could have given him to the father. She could have given him to the state. She could have taken him to a safe place. Could have did a whole lot of things. A whole lot.
In a wooded area behind the home. Ellis is also charged with trying to conceal a homicidal death. Wheeler is facing the same charge. Authorities tell us Jabari's body was wrapped in a sheet, then placed in a garbage bag.
Best of Small said, why didn't her family step up and help her? That was what I was asking. So for the father, James Ellis, to come out and say that he don't want his name out there or anything like that, well, your name was in one of these documents, so it is what it is. Your name is out there. So I'm asking the question, why didn't somebody from your family, since you knew that she suffered from postpartum depression, then you should, as a father, should have known what dangers that your grandson was in under your dumb ass daughter's care. Anybody in the family that knew that information, to me, in my opinion, I have no sympathy for, and you guys are just as negligible if you knew that this child was in danger and you did nothing about it. Do you guys get where I'm coming from? It's almost kind of like if I knew my neighbors were down there beating their kids and slamming their kids in the walls and I don't say anything and I don't do anything about it. If I know about it and chose to say nothing about it or do nothing about it, then I should be held accountable. See something, say something. So if you knew something and did not do something, then in my opinion, James Ellis not only failed his daughter, but he failed his grandson, Jabari Ellis.
Jamia's father says she had battled depression in the past and had been struggling with postpartum depression. He believes that played a big role in this tragedy.
With the way postpartum has affected a lot of women nowadays, this could happen to anybody.
Authorities tell us Jamia's family reported her and Jabari missing to Alton police last Saturday. Jamia was found, but not Jabari. We're told an Alton police interview with someone who investigators won't specify was key in breaking the case.
Miss Eva said, my sister had it and we helped her. We went over to help her. We would take him and let her get some rest. We, her family, stepped in and helped her out. I'll tell you guys this. Me and my daughter's mom had all the help that we wanted, even sometimes when we didn't want the help. My mom would sometimes just my mom and dad would do it sometimes, and they would just pop up at my apartment and say, hey, we're going to take the baby with us for a little while. And I'm just like, okay, I guess y'all want to spend time with her. That's fine. But they did everything that they needed to do to make sure that my daughter had all the time she needed, because everybody that is a parent or everybody that's been there, apparently if they understand that it takes a village to raise a baby, then that village should be the family first. That family should step in and make sure that they do as much as they can and provide as much opportunity as they can for this child to get as much love and protection as he can. That's not the state's responsibility. That is the family and parents' responsibility first.
It is tragic, and any infant death is tragic to investigate.
I find peace knowing, because I'm a believer, knowing that Jabari is with the Lord right now.
Jamia's family tells us Wheeler is Jamia's boyfriend and that he lived at that home on Cemetery Road. Both Ellis and Wheeler are behind bars in Greene County after making their first court appearances this morning in Carrollton. For now, live in Collinsville, Christopher J.A.E. News 11.
I could barely understand that, dude.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. First on Fox 2 News at 11 a.m., murder charges are filed in the death of a baby found this week in rural Greene County, Illinois, near Carrollton. Fox 2's Chris Renier has been tracking the case. He joins us live now from Collinsville with what we're learning. Chris?
Dan, we are outside of Illinois State Police headquarters here in Collinsville. Investigators here have been working with authorities in Greene County piecing together this case. Within the past half an hour, murder charges have been filed against the mother of that dead baby and her male acquaintance, also facing charges in the case. We can show you mugshots of the two suspects in this case. They are identified by police as...
I wonder why they keep saying the male acquaintance. That's her boyfriend. Why are they minimizing it like that? A male acquaintance. I don't know what the reason is for that, but I thought I'd throw that out there. But they keep referring to Ryan Wheeler, the guy on that far right-hand side, as just her acquaintance. No, that was the boyfriend that she was living with.
22-year-old Jamia Ellis and 34-year-old Ryan Wheeler. Ellis is the mother of the dead baby. Information just being released within the past hour from Illinois State Police says that Ellis has been charged with first-degree murder, saying that on November 2nd, Ellis killed the child with blunt force trauma, and Ellis has also been charged with concealing a homicidal death. Those charges reading that she buried the child in a wooded area east of Carrollton, Illinois, in Greene County. That area is behind a home where this child was found on Wednesday afternoon. So the mother, Jamia Ellis, facing murder charges and concealing a homicidal death. Her bond at $1.5 million. The second suspect in this case, who has consistently by authorities been referred to as Ellis's male acquaintance.
See, you heard what he said? Listen to it again.
Consistently by authorities been referred to as Ellis's male acquaintance. The second suspect in this case, who has consistently by authorities been referred to as Ellis's male acquaintance.
You notice, because they use words that they mean, and they said consistently referred to as a male acquaintance. So one would have to wonder, why are they saying that? Not what are they saying? We know what a male acquaintance is, but why are they using that particular terminology when we know that's her boyfriend? She was living with him. They were sleeping together. He must have a fetish for dudes because she looks just like a dude. She does.
$1.5 million. The second suspect in this case, who has consistently by authorities been referred to as Ellis's male acquaintance, 34-year-old Ryan Wheeler, is facing charges of concealing a homicidal death. He is also charged with burying that baby in that wooded area behind the home. His bond set at $750,000. I've been speaking with Illinois State Police this morning. They tell me both Ellis and Wheeler are in custody at the Greene County Sheriff's Department in Carrollton. Unclear whether or not they will be in court today. But again, this investigation, Deanna, has been ongoing since Wednesday. Charges coming down this morning against the mother of this baby, Jamia Ellis, and her male acquaintance, Ryan Wheeler. Authorities saying that Ellis killed her own child with blunt force trauma, then buried that baby in the back of a home.
Again, I think it's weird the fact that they are consistently, quote unquote, consistently referring to this man as her acquaintance. I've never heard of no stuff like that. But I want to know what you guys think, man. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat what you guys think. I think the bond is set at $1.5 million for Jamia Ellis. As far as Ryan Wheeler, his bail is set at $750,000, which is quite a bit high. But, you know, obviously he's an accessory to this because he helped conceal the murder of baby Jabari Ellis. 6-month-old Jabari Ellis. Now you guys saw, man, that's a beautiful little baby. Beautiful little baby. Let me see if I can get him back up on the screen here in a moment. They're guilty of killing. Maybe it was in my video. I don't know how I didn't get no pictures of the baby up there, but I do have it in the video, though. Let's go back. Let's see if I can get to it. Where's the little baby boy at? Right up. I just missed it. Yep. Right there. Go back.
Body was found Wednesday in a shallow grave. Jabari was the 6-month.
Right there. There he is. This face right here. Two grown-ass people, man. Like I said, I just don't understand what a child can do to make a person that frustrated that they feel the need to end these kids' lives. Again, man, there's just no excuse for it. I hope that they throw the book at them, and I hope it hits them dead in the face, like in all honesty. And I hope that they suffer for this. And it just really sucks the fact that we'll never know what 6-month-old Jabari Ellis would have turned into given the chance to live and thrive on Earth. So, you know, rest in peace to the baby. And like I said, man, we'll just see what happens from here. They have a court date here in 16 days. We'll go from there. Again, man, I want to thank you guys so much for joining the show. It's the end of the show. This is your boy DJ JustJayOK.